Hey everyone, welcome to the Renegade Report, and my name is Ramon. So today I thought we'll talk about my favorite subject of all time, taxes, or more importantly, not paying them. So yesterday, Helen Ziller sort of hinted at the possibility of starting a tax revolt. And of course, this is something that I support wholeheartedly because if you think about it, right? The if you look at the normal argument for taxes, it's part of the social contract, and it's the price we pay for living in a civilized society and to help those who can't help themselves and all that other goody stuff that really doesn't make sense in the real world by any means. For me, taxation is obviously theft. If you don't pay, you go to prison, and that tax is used for things that you have no control over. I have no idea where my taxes go. If I pay 1,000 rand into two SARS, I don't know where that 1,000 rand goes. It probably goes to someone's pocket, or it goes to repairing a pothole in Kroonstad, or or paying a social grant in PE. I don't know. It's impossible to know because SARS doesn't disclose that, or National Treasury rather doesn't disclose that. So I think a tax revolt is needed, and I think it is necessary. However, it's not as simple as one would think. So, just to break it down, SARS has about four main types of revenue. They got personal income tax, which is about 38% of what they get. VAT is about 25%. Customs, excise duties, fuel levies, things like that account for about 24%. No, sorry, 20%, and corporate tax is about 18%. So you can notice quite easily that VAT and personal income tax amount for more than 50% of all the taxes. So personal income tax is relatively easy to not pay over. Basically, you'll need a lot of corporations because it's taken away from your paycheck immediately. So you'll need a corporation or your employer to set up a mechanism whereby they still deduct the taxes from you, but they can put it into a sort of trust fund or another vehicle and not pay that to SARS in protest. And then when they are satisfied that the government is not corrupt or something like that, then they can pay it in bulk when necessary. However, one big problem with that, you will need the majority of employers and corporations and businesses to actually do this for it to have any effect whatsoever, because SARS will come down really hard on the first 10 or first 50 who do this. But if 1,000 businesses, if 10,000 businesses do it, it'll be impossible to manage for SARS, and it will be impossible for them to come down legally on people and businesses who are not paying the income tax. So unfortunately, as with most things, you need a groundswell of people to actually do it properly. For VAT, it's very difficult because everything you buy, there's VAT included. So if you buy petrol, food, carpets, whatever you want, you pay VAT on that. So if you want to not pay VAT, you basically you don't want to buy anything ever for a number of years or months. So that is not an easy way to have a tax revolt by any means. So also the fuel levy and things like that, I mean, these are built into the prices that we pay every day. Not feasible to not have petrol. Not feasible to not import things if your business is an import business or things like that. Because imagine if people stop importing to not pay the tax on it, you won't have shoes and clothes and goods in shops anywhere in this country because we import most of our stuff anyway. So yeah, not very feasible. And then for the corporation tax, well, yeah, corporates can do the same thing as for the income tax, right? It's just deduct it from their overall balance sheet and put it into a trust or another vehicle and not pay it to SARS in protest. Once again, you need a lot of corporations to do that. And unfortunately, the business sector in this country is relatively cowardly or crony. So they get a lot of business from the state. And if you assume that the banks, the big banks, the big medical aids, things like that, they run along with the government on most things, if I'm really honest. So I don't expect to see any sort of bravery from them anytime soon. So yeah, the only way to do a real tax revolt is for your employer in their masses to put your deductions into a trust and not pay it over. That's the only way to do it. And I mean, let's not forget, a tax revolt has been happening for years in this country by people immigrating. You have, what, almost 1.5 million people who have immigrated in the past 25 years or so. I assume most of them would be, well, maybe not most, but a lot of them would be taxpayers because immigration is not that easy or cheap, to be honest. And if we assume that 80% of all income tax is only paid by about 1.9 million people. Yeah, imagine we can get those 1.9 million people to not pay. Then we've got a game on our hands. But unfortunately at this stage, a tax revolt is what I really would desire, but I don't see it happening in any meaningful way unless there is a groundswell of support for it, and people actually do follow the procedure and stand firm when SARS tries to come for them. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, and also, subscribe and press the bell and all that other nonsense YouTube wants you to do. So anyway, see you in the next one. Cheers.